Lennox Lewis advises Oleksandr Usyk to retire on top like I did. Stay tuned to Fighting District, subscribe. Undisputed heavyweight champion Oleksandr Usyk doesn't have much left to prove. After beating Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois twice each over his last 6 fights spanning 4 years, Usyk, 24-0, 15 KOs, is alone at the mountaintop, waiting to make his next move. Conversations around the sport are calling for the 38-year-old Ukrainian to retire, while others are suggesting Joseph Parker and Moises Itamosheld get a crack. Boxing icon and former undisputed heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis says Usyk should march to the beat of his own drum. "I would say to him to retire at your own time, but retire on top like I did," Lewis told Sky Sports. "When a guy retires, it's really down to him. He's got to feel that push that he wants to retire. But he can teach a lot of young boxers a lot of different things: dedication, hard work, sacrifice, because he's been through that. It's definitely the hardest thing to do because you basically want to be the best in boxing and take all the belts for yourself and be the #1 guy. There's always other boxers out there that don't want you to achieve that. They're standing by, they want to beat you, they want to be the first boxer to beat you. That's why you've got to make sure that you retire on top." Lewis retired at 38 after stopping Vitaly Klitschko on a cut in 2003. A knockout win against Mike Tyson preceded that performance in 2002, and Lewis avenged a knockout loss to Hazem Rahman by returning the favor in 2001. Lewis, February 1, 42, beat Evander Holyfield, David Tua, Andrew Golota, and Shannon Briggs along the way. As for Usyk, he's been nursing a back injury ever since knocking out Dubois in July and is also starring in The Smashing Machine opposite Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Seemingly gathering pace each day, Anthony Joshua is as ready as ever to make his anticipated comeback to the ring.
Still yet to land a specific opponent for his return to combat, former 2-time world heavyweight boxing champion Anthony Joshua has been linked with a whole host of potential matchups next. And seemingly gearing up for a historic return at the beginning of next year on new soil, Watford star Joshua is primed to go, according to his longtime promoter. However, whilst ready to compete again, the Olympian has been dealing with a rather lengthy period of frustration. Anthony Joshua frustrated by Daniel Dubois' performance. Sidelined for just over a year at this stage, former world champion Joshua has been out of action since his hellacious knockout defeat to compatriot Daniel Dubois. Finding himself on the receiving end of a brutal knockout at the hands of the former IBF heavyweight champion, Joshua had been finished for the second time in his career following a previous shock knockout loss to Andy Ruiz. And according to longtime promoter Eddie Hearn, Joshua, while gearing up for a return to the ring, is more than frustrated with the recent defeat to Dubois. He's, Anthony Joshua, kinda ready now, ready to pull the trigger, which is exciting, Hearn told Boxing News. "You know, it's been a really frustrating period, a year, kinda like a mix of definite disappointment. He definitely suffered with that defeat from Daniel Dubois, personally," Hearn explained. "I know he loves to put on a brave face and talk to everyone and be that guy. I know how much that defeat hurt him. And I know how much defeats hurt him in general." Anthony Joshua's potential return opponent. Set to take a roll of the dice fight in his return to action, Joshua has been ruled out of some notable fights already by his promoter in his immediate return to the ring. And expected to take a sizable trip to Africa in his comeback to the squared circle, Joshua has seen a front-runner in terms of opponents sounded out by the above-mentioned Hearn, too.